This is a story of a faraway sandy land by the sea. It was a beach on the seashore. The land was covered with white sand. You could see white sand on one side as far as your eyes could see, and on the other side, as far as your eyes could see, you could see the ocean, the deep, deep sea. But in this land of sea and beach, sea and sand, there was no green. There were no trees or plants or bushes, no grass, nothing. For many, many years, the sea and the sand lived together. And the sea would often take the countless grains of sand with it. The waves would come and some of the sand would go along with the sea. Some of it would travel to the bottom of the ocean and lie there. Some of it would travel far away to another beach in another land, in another place. And for many, many years, this friendship of the sea and the sand continued. They liked each other. They liked playing with each other. The sand liked that the sea would take them to a faraway place, or sometimes even just to the bottom of the ocean where they would see all that was there under the sea. Many hundreds of years passed like this. After some time, the sand, the countless grains of sand that were on the beach, on the sandy shore, started to feel a little lonely, a little bored. Yes, it was nice to travel away with the sea. It was nice to sometimes even go to the bottom of the sea. But they also longed to look at the world from above. They longed to see closer to the skies and the clouds so that they could be high up. They also longed for other friends. And they had heard that there were these things called trees. They did not know what trees were because they had not seen them. But they had heard of this from other lands, that there were something called trees. So they decided to ask Mother Earth, because they lived closest to Mother Earth, so they could ask Mother Earth and tell her how they felt. So they went to Mother Earth. Dear, dear Mother Earth, we want friends. Maybe some trees would be nice. We have heard there are trees on other lands, in other places. Then we would have someone else to play with. And we can even go closer to the skies. Right now we are only close to you, dear Earth, dear Mother Earth, and the water, the sea. Mother Earth told them, well, my dear, dear grains of sand, you see, there is a reason why there are no trees that grow here. They have tried. But the water that is in the sea is so full of salt that they cannot drink the salty water. They need nice fresh water. And your sand, the sand, you are all so very dry that they cannot hold on to you. When they grow in mud, then they are able to hold on to the mud very well and grow into tall trees. But with you, they cannot do that. And of course, Brother Wind blows so strongly on the seashore. Brother Wind blows so strongly right here where we are near the sea. And before a plant can become a tree, it has fallen over. It cannot even become a tree, and once it becomes a tree, it would fall down because the wind is so gusty and so strong. So my dear children, I'm sorry, but I cannot help you. The countless grains of sand were sad, but they did not give up. They decided to go to the sea, to the ocean, and they said to the ocean, dear, dear ocean, dear sister ocean, Mother Earth told us that there are no trees that grow here on the sandy shores because of your water, because of how salty is it. Can you please make your water less salty? Can you please have fresh water so that trees can grow on our sandy shores. The ocean lashed her waves. The waves came in and out. She listened to what the sands had to say. But what could she do? She had always been salty. She didn't know any other way to be. She gurgled and smiled and said to the sand, I am this way. I am salty. I cannot change that. And so it was. The sea could not help the countless grains of sand. Next, they went to Brother Wind, and they said to Brother Wind, Brother Wind, you blow so strong. Of course, you have a wonderful breeze, and it is wonderful that you can blow so strong. But because of you, there are no trees that grow on our sandy shores. Can you please blow less strongly? If you just give us a gentle breeze, that will be fine. Then there will be trees that can grow on our sandy shores. Could you please do that? But Brother Wind continued to blow. His gusty wind continued to blow across the sandy shore. He did want to help the countless grains of sand, the sandy shore, but he did not know how. He was the wind, and it was his work to blow, wasn't it? So what could he do? And so it was. The countless grains of sand were sad. There was nothing to be done. They went to sleep that night, feeling sad in their hearts. There was nobody else they could ask for help. But they had not thought of one person. They had not thought of Mother Moon. Mother Moon was shining in the sky that night, bright and full. And when she was at her fullest, she could always know what it is that was in the hearts of people. And she could always give an extra blessing so that she could even make magic happen. So that night, while the sand lay asleep, feeling sad in their hearts, Mother Moon dropped a seed into the sand. And the seed found her way deep into the sand and reached the belly of Mother Earth. And Mother Earth found the seed and embraced the seed, held the seed close to her. But even as she held it, she wondered, what would become of this seed? So many seeds had come to the sandy shore before, but they were not able to grow into trees because of the salty water and the gusty wind and the dry sand. What would become of this one? Mother Earth did not know, but she still held the seed close. And the seed lay sleeping till it was time for her to grow. And as she was sleeping, in her dream, she met the salty water and the gusty wind and the dry sand. And she knew that she must find a way to become a tree, even though there was salty water, even though there was the gusty wind, and even though the sand was dry. But it was not yet time for her to become a tree, so she lay sleeping. And she lay sleeping till the next full moon, 1 month later. By now, the countless grains of sand had forgotten how lonely they had been. They didn't think anything could be done. They had lost hope. And they simply continued to how they had lived for so many hundreds of years, playing with the water, going down to the bottom of the ocean, sometimes traveling to another seashore. They did not expect that there would be a seed that was growing in the belly of Mother Earth right where they were. That there was a seed growing right there, which was a gift for them. They did not know that Mother Moon had gifted them this. That night, they went to sleep, not knowing anything, not knowing what to expect the next morning. It was any other night for them. Yes, it was a full moon night, but they didn't think of it as anything special. That night, when the moon was full, the little seed opened her eyes just a little bit. She could feel her mother up in the sky with her beautiful cool glow and silvery light. Yes, it was time for her to sprout and become a tree. As the sun rose the next morning, the little seed's toes started reaching down, down into the earth, and her hands started reaching towards the sky, her palms and fingers reaching out to touch the sky, to feel the warmth of the sun that was slowly rising in the sky. And the seed knew that the water would be salty. So the seed had told her feet which would drink up the water from the ground, from Mother Earth. The seed had told her feet, please keep the salt away. Even if the salt is there, you must take only the water and leave the salt behind. And so it was that this tree had magical feet that went deep into Mother Earth and would take only the water without the salt that was in it. What a magical thing the seed was able to do. And the seed also knew that she must be a strong plant before she can become a tree, a tall tree that can touch the skies and the clouds and reach for the sun also. So she grew strong. And when she was old enough to have her bark was thick and strong as well. However hard Brother Wind blew, however gusty the wind was, this little seedling had grown into a tree that would not fall, that would not break. And her leaves reached up to the sky, to the sun, like palms, like hands with little fingers reaching to touch the sky, swaying in the wind and waving to the sun and the clouds and the birds that were passing by. The countless grains of sand just looked up at what had happened. There was a tree that they had always dreamed of, that they had wanted, that they had wished for, that they had asked Mother Earth for. And here it was, the gift from Mother Moon. Mother Moon shone proudly down at her seed that had become into a beautiful tree. And she continued to look after it in the quiet of the night when the sun had gone to sleep. And so it was that every full moon, Mother Moon would gift the tree flowers that would sprout and hang down from the tall branches of the tree. And of course, these were magical flowers too, which we shall see in our next story. For now, you can see that all the countless grains of sand were so happy to have a tree. They could even climb up that tree and be able to see far and wide. They would sometimes sit on the branches of the tree, on the tall leaves of the tree, the palms of the tree, the long fingers that reached out towards the sky, and they could almost touch the clouds. How happy the grains of sand were, how delighted by this gift, even though they didn't know who had gifted it to them.